A cold call could be broken up into three different parts, two of which could be scripted while the other one is really ad hoc and all over the place. The parts that could be scripted are the opener and the closer. Now you know what the opener sounds like because we talked about that in the first two videos, but just to recap, the opener, first 4 seconds, what we're going to do is we're going to mirror our prospects because we want to follow the law of congruency. After that, we're going to use a permission-based opener in order to get permission to pitch. And then when we pitch, we should be sparking enough interest in order to keep the conversation going. And it's a good idea to have more than one value prop to do that. The closing of the conversation is your job to ask for the meeting. And a good sales rep always asks for the meeting unless it clearly doesn't make sense. And so we use something called negative language a lot of the times because it's easier for a prospect to say no than it is to say yes. And so I'll give you an example. A lot of sales reps end a conversation by saying, would it make sense to take a meeting with us? And the prospect says no, because it puts them in a very powerful position. On the flip side, we could use negative language and say, would it be completely ridiculous to take a look at this? And again, they say no, but we still get what we want out of it. And so at the end of every conversation, it's good to have some type of negative language when asking that question for the meeting. Now the hard part, and this is the really hard part because you can't script it, is everything in between. And there are two things that we're trying to, really three things that we're trying to achieve when we're going through the middle of the conversation. The first thing is discovery. We're trying to understand if a prospect is using a competitor's solution. We're trying to understand if our prospect even knows about what we do as a company. And so we're asking a lot of hard questions in order to figure that stuff out. Your prospect should be talking probably twice as much as you are at least. Throughout the discovery process, we're going to pick up on a couple different pain points. After we've identified what those pain points are, we're going to then ask about those pain points some more. And we do this to agitate those pain points. We want to exaggerate them and exercise them. And so I'll give you an example of this. Your prospect says, we've been using X solution for 3 months and honestly, we're just not that crazy about it. And you respond with, not that crazy about it? No, we've had some issues with it in the past and now it's causing this problem and Y problem and blah, blah. Really, that sounds frustrating. It is frustrating. And they go on a tangent. That is the process of agitating a pain point. The more you agitate a pain point, the more ammunition you'll have when you ask for that meeting because the prospect confessed to you that they do in fact need your product because they are suffering with their current solution.